Master. There are afternoons when I sit alone in my usual cafe corner, watching people rush past, and somehow my chest feels strangely hollow. It's not because I'm lonely. It's not because I'm missing anyone. I feel empty because I don't even know who I am anymore. I used to think I was strong. I used to believe that if I just tried hard enough, I could do anything. But failure, again and again, has made me start doubting myself. I doubt my ability. I doubt my worth. I doubt the future. I even doubt whether I still have the right to hope. Some nights, I lie awake, my heart tightening as if an invisible hand is squeezing it shut. I want to believe in myself so badly, but every time I try to begin again, the memory of the last fall drags me down. I know I have to get up, but my legs feel so heavy, like they've been nailed to the ground. Am I becoming a distorted version of myself? Is it true that the older I get, the more I lose that childhood faith that said, I can? That day, I came to you, not for empty encouragement, but for a real answer, an answer honest enough to reach the deepest part of me. And you listened for a long time. Then you smiled and asked, You say you failed a lot, but have you ever asked yourself, what is failure? I lowered my head, silent. You asked again, Is it that you didn't get what you wanted? Or is it that you've decided you're incapable of getting it? I swallowed hard. Master, it's both. You looked at me for a long moment, your eyes soft but serious. No, my child. Failure doesn't happen in life. Failure happens in the mind. In the mind? Yes, other people might see you stumble once, but only you live with that fear for a lifetime. I looked down. It felt like you had touched the most painful place inside me. You continued. You say you don't believe in yourself anymore. So let me ask you this. When was the first time you ever felt, I've lost faith in myself? Memories surfaced. A decision I hesitated on for too long. A mistake I made when everyone thought I was good at that thing. An opportunity I lost. The kind I was once proud to have earned. And I answered, when I ruined something I should have been able to do. You shook your head. No, that was just an event. The moment you truly lost faith in yourself was the moment you became haunted by that event. Then you said slowly, an event happens once. A haunting can last a lifetime. I shivered. I was starting to understand, and also starting to be afraid. You asked, Tell me, why does a child fall while learning to walk, then get up and keep going without fear? I answered quickly, because they don't know fear. No, you said, because they haven't learned to compare themselves to anyone. I fell silent. You went on. You didn't lose faith in yourself because you failed. You lost faith because after failing, you compared your real self to an ideal version in your head. Like, I thought I should be better, stronger, more steady. Exactly. You believed you weren't allowed to mess up. You believed you were grown now. You believed you should get it right immediately. But I didn't. So you became disappointed in yourself. And that disappointment, you named it loss of faith. In truth, it's simply the pain of your illusion of perfection shattering. It felt like someone tapped my forehead, gently but precisely. You continued. You didn't lose faith in yourself. You just saw the truth of yourself for the first time. You can be weak, you can be wrong, you can be imperfect, like everyone else. Then you asked, do you dare to accept that imperfect version of you? I couldn't answer. not honestly. You smiled. See? What you're missing isn't faith. What you're missing is acceptance. You began. Once I walked past a forest. There was a young tree split in half by a strong wind. People said, "That one's too weak. It won't survive." I asked, "Did it die?" No. A few months later I came back. The tree was still there, but the way it lived surprised me. You paused. Instead of standing straight, it grew at an angle. Instead of growing fast like the others, it grew more slowly, but it lived. Its leaves stayed green. It kept reaching upward, even though it was no longer whole. I asked, why? Because its instinct never told it. You must be perfect. It only knew. You must keep living. Then you looked right into my eyes. Humans are different from trees. We don't live by instinct. We live by expectation. And unrealistic expectations crush your faith. I asked, then, what does it really mean to believe in myself? You answered, believing in yourself isn't believing, I will never fail. It's believing, I won't turn failure into a life sentence. Then you said clearly, believing in yourself means, even if you're weak today, you believe you can grow stronger. Even if you're wrong today, you believe you can do better. Even if you fall today, you believe you can get back up. Not instantly, but little by little. I asked, but what if I'm not capable enough? You laughed softly. No one lacks ability. People only lack time to unlock it. I exhaled. Master. But I'm so tired. You said, you're tired because you keep trying to prove you're strong. Try this instead. Live as someone who's allowed to be weak. You don't have to become strong right away. You just have to not quit. You dragged your finger across the wooden table and drew a straight line. Look at this line. If I force it to rise sharply, it needs strength. But if I let it rise little by little, as long as the direction stays the same, sooner or later, it ends up higher than where it began. I understand. So it's about perseverance? Not only perseverance, you said. It's also about not turning around just to hurt yourself one more time. My eyes burned. Master, I keep remembering old failures. How do I forget? You shook your head. You don't need to forget. You just need to change the way you remember. Change? How? See failure like sore legs after learning to run. They hurt because they're getting stronger. No one throws away their legs just because they hurt. Then you said the line I'll never forget. Failure doesn't prove you're worthless. Failure proves you're growing in the exact way life demands. You asked, do you know what people who don't believe in themselves often have in common? I shook my head. They have hearts that are too good. I blinked. Why? A good heart? Because they expect too much from themselves. They always want to do well, sometimes better than anyone asked. And when they can't, they don't forgive themselves. I looked down. You were right in a way that hurt. You continued. Do you know why the ones who judge themselves the harshest are often the kindest people? Because they believe they have to be someone's support. And they feel guilty when they're the one who collapses. I whispered, yes. I even feel guilty toward myself. You placed a hand on my shoulder. My child, if you don't allow yourself to be weak, how will others dare to be weak around you? If you can't forgive yourself, how will you have enough room in your heart to forgive the world? My eyes filled. You looked into me and asked, answer honestly, Do you want to believe in yourself? Or do you want to return to the perfect version you once imagined? I was quiet for a long time. Then I said, Master, I want to believe in myself, even if I'm not perfect. You smiled. Then you've already begun. You said, faith in yourself doesn't return in a single day. It returns through small actions. When you dare to say, I'm not okay. When you dare to do one small thing you've been avoiding. When you dare to stand up one more time. When you dare to forgive yourself. When you dare to believe, slow is still okay. You said, see? Not a single one of those requires you to be perfect. Then you told another story. I once met a man who lost everything. His money, his job, even his family. He said, I have nothing left to believe in. But I asked him, can you still breathe? He said, yes. I told him, then you still have everything. I stared. How is that everything? Because if a person can still breathe, they still have the power to choose again. You asked, have you ever seen a sprout grow out of a crack in a rock? Yes. Do you think it's strong? Yes. You shook your head. No, it isn't strong. It simply doesn't quit. And yet it can pierce rock. I went still. You said, you don't need to be strong. You just need to not quit on yourself. Then you stood up, walked into the small yard and pointed to the golden late afternoon sky. Look, the sun isn't blazing all day. Sometimes it dims. Sometimes clouds hide it. Sometimes darkness swallows it. But it is never doubted that tomorrow it will rise again. You turned back to me. You're the same. Tomorrow you'll rise again too. Before I left, you said, don't look for faith in other people. People change, and your faith will shake with them. Find faith in the way you stand back up after each fall. That's where faith never betrays you. Then you closed gently. Believing in yourself isn't believing you're always right. It's believing that even when you're wrong, you can still become better. I heard you, and I knew. Today, my faith began to sprout again, not as a roar, but as a tiny green sprout, trembling, but alive. And sometimes, that's enough to begin a whole new life. Are you comparing yourself to someone else? Or to an ideal version of you in your head? If you could forgive yourself for one thing today, what would it be? If you want part 2, where the master shows how to break free from the haunting, comment part 2.